Good afternoon. Please welcome Director of Platform Partnerships at Slack, Jassim Latif, and Platform Product Marketing Manager at Slack, Julie Haynes.
Hello, New York. Welcome to Frontiers. Thank you all for joining us. So quick show of hands. How many folks here have used Slack for at least 1 year? Wow. All right. I wasn't expecting that. That's great. Keep your hands up if it's been at least 2 years. Awesome. So hopefully you all will learn some new tips and tricks to take back to your teams. For you folks who are new to Slack, hopefully we'll help you learn how to get more out of your investment. Today, we're going to talk about how to build connected teams, harnessing the superpowers of your individual employees. As people gain more agency and flexibility in the way that they work, they still need a place to go. And for more and more people and more customers around the world, that place is Slack. Slack is a digital office, a collaboration hub that not only connects your people to the teams they work with every day, but all the tools and services that they use to get their job done.
And when you set up connected teams, you'll notice 3 key characteristics. The first is that your organization will have alignment because all of your employees understand a shared common goal. Second, you'll be able to act quickly because everyone across your organization will have access to the knowledge they need at a moment's notice. And finally, you'll be able to save some money as well because you'll be able to take advantage of opportunities as they present themselves, and you'll be able to automate some rote tasks that sometimes can cause human error. So before we get started, we want to just introduce ourselves.
So a bit about me. My name is Jassim Latif, and I'm the director of our platform partnerships team. My team works with partners big and small, from Slack fund companies like Troops, Donut, Poly, and Guru, to emerging SaaS players like Trello, PagerDuty, and Front, and to leading enterprise services like Ultimate Software and ServiceNow.
And I'm Julie Haynes. I'm a product marketer on our platform team. I spend my days with customers like yourselves, helping you learn how to get more out of Slack by connecting your tools with our platform. I also work closely with our product team to build out new features that will hopefully make your working lives a little bit more pleasant and productive. Before we jump in, I'd love if you could do me a favor and pull out your cell phones. And we're going to go ahead and go to slido.com if you want to go to the next slide.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Great, thank you. We're going to go to slido.com. And I know this probably isn't what speakers typically ask you to do in a presentation, but we'd love for this to be a little bit interactive and give you an opportunity to ask questions as we go. So just enter through this join code. You'll notice that right here on the side of the screen, we'll have a little reminder if you have questions along the way. And we'll keep that up there on the screen as we go. And at the end, we'll address your questions. Great.
Cool. So before we dive in, let's set the stage a little bit. In a pre-connected world, your teams are working in silos. They live and breathe in their own set of tools for their own specializations, usually buying some off-the-shelf software that helps them with the task at hand, managing a customer support ticket, moving a recruit through a hiring process, adding a bug to your development roadmap. From there, your departments are spending hours trying to break down those silos. They're trying to pull information from some tool. They're trying to share it with somebody else. They're then setting up a meeting to make a decision based on some sort of data that they found. They then hand off that work, and that person puts it into their own tool, starting the whole process all over again. So clearly, the tools alone aren't going to be enough. So let's take an example. In the 1900s, design and construction began on the Manhattan Bridge. Imagine the work that was in front of that group of architects and engineers. A lot of the work was manual, paper, pencils, drafting tables. And a lot of the work was tedious. Lots of manual calculations, lots of repetitive tasks, lots of people hours. And let's see how that was in the modern day. Right? We have better tools, computers, specialized machinery, software like CAD. Most of the manual work gets automated. Software handles a lot of the tedious stuff. You would think that the efficiency gains from these advancements would be off the charts. And we're seeing similar trends in businesses of all shapes and sizes in all different industries. We've moved from paper to the digital era. But are we actually more productive than we were a century ago? Not really. And why is that? Because human collaboration is hard. And it's often the hardest part of the work that we do. So yes, employees are more capable than they've ever been before. Today, the salesperson, the recruiter, the accountant of 2018 is like a superhero version of their 1993 counterpart. That's only made the job for management more difficult and the need for alignment even stronger. So, you all know this. We live in the golden age of software. We have tools that help us with anything. Most automated rote tasks are happening with specialized software across the board, and software is only addressing more and more of these domains. McKinsey recently published a study that found 45% of work today can be automated using demonstrated technology. 45%. So with the busy work out of the way, people can focus on the creative, the complex, the innovative work, the special bits that really only humans can do. But empowering individuals is really just a start, right? Your workforce is out there. You've equipped them with the best tools in the world, and they're ready to work. So let's say one of your employees identifies a new opportunity. She comes up with a brilliant idea and rallies the troops around her. This is what you want. Looks like things are heading in the right direction. But if you zoom out and take a look at your organization holistically, you have all of these subgroups entrenched, rowing in a different direction, causing more chaos than good. So while these people may be doing the best work of their lives at the individual level, they're wasting a lot of cycles, time, and energy in really basic tasks like sharing information. And the result of these disconnected teams, it hurts your bottom line. You end up duplicating work, tasks go unfinished because there's no clear ownership, people are making misinformed decisions because they're working off of old, stale data. And finally, you have all this organizational drag, again, when all you might be trying to do is share some basic info.
So chances are you've probably felt this type of drag and pain at your organizations. I think we all have. So we're going to take a look at a common situation and as an example of a team, if they're not working in a connected environment, they're not working in Slack, they haven't connected their tools. So let's first meet Kathy. Kathy works in a performance marketing team at Horizons, Inc. She spends her days bringing in more leads for their company through paid media. She comes to work every morning, she grabs a cup of coffee, she chats with her coworkers, and she pulls up all her specialized tools that she needs for her job. Now, Kathy has tons of tabs open. She might have Facebook Ads Manager open. She definitely has Google Drive open. She has email. She's talking to her coworkers. It's just a lot of work for her to keep track of what's going on in all of these different tools. Now let's meet Mark. Mark is on the web optimizations team at Horizons. He has a similar goal to Kathy. He's trying to optimize how quickly they're able to convert their leads. And he spends his day also in a pretty similar way. He grabs a cup of tea, he chats with his coworkers, and then he pulls up all his specialized tools. Now, he spends a lot of time working with engineers in the design team, so he has Jira open, he has Optimizely open. He's spending his day looking at how the optimizations they've made are impacting their work. So one day, Kathy comes into the office and she notices that her performance campaign is not performing as well as it had in the past. This is frustrating to her because it has been a historical performer. It's been a great way to bring in new business, but it's just not performing the way that it used to. She does a bit of troubleshooting. She pauses that campaign. She asks everyone she knows at her company what might be causing this issue. She brings up in her team meeting. She sends off several emails. Ultimately, she's not able to figure out what the problem is. She has to pause her campaign, take down the forecast for the quarter, and ultimately they lose some money for their company. It's not a great situation. On the other side of the table, Mark's team is working on optimizing that sign-up flow. They've actually seen some positive results. They're happy. They're going along, patting each other's backs. They're rolling out their experiments. And unfortunately, because they are not working in a connected environment, the pain that they feel is that Mark is not aware the optimizations that he's made are actively negatively impacting Kathy's campaign. Information is siloed, work is siloed, and as a result, they're losing money.
So clearly our fake situation is pretty terrible, right? But it doesn't really have to be this way. What if you could give your teams the alignment and ability they need to take advantage of every opportunity that presents itself? What if you could say your teams had telepathic knowledge, where the right people were kept in the loop and key information was always at their fingertips? What if your teams had visibility into how the organization is performing as a whole? Instead of having to pull reports behind some technical interface, they proactively receive alerts, notifications with the right info in the right place. What if they were stronger as a collective unit, and you could tap into subject matter experts and loop them in to inform key decisions? And what if you could provide better customer support, helping you retain customers and attract new ones? And then finally, what if you could say your organization moved faster together, helping you save time across all your organizations? The good news is that this is possible, right? And it's possible with a connected team in Slack. We talked earlier about how Slack is great at connecting your people and your teams. But it's also great at bringing all those tools and services into one place. And when you have everything in one central place, you can ensure your teams are working off the same information and they're on the same page. At the individual level, our platform helps reduce context switching. Your people don't have to toggle between app to app or screen to screen to find the information that they need. And again, because information is coming in from all these third-party services, it's easy to share knowledge across departmental lines. Your product and marketing teams can see how a new feature or an ad campaign is landing with customers. Your customer support group can pop into the engineering channel and see how they're thinking about building a highly demanded feature. And with our open API, you can really bring almost any workflow to Slack. Your research teams can start piping in survey results. Your IT team can build an entire help desk, all in Slack. And we know this is the way that people want to work. 94% of our paid teams use integrations today. And we see quotes like this one every day. People recognize that Slack is great at connecting their people, but it's also even better at connecting all their tools and services. So I'm going to hand the mic over to Julie, and she's going to show us what a truly connected team looks like in Slack.
Yeah, thanks, Jassim. That's right. So we saw earlier that there was a situation with Kathy and Mark. They were hoping to both make more revenue for their company by bringing more leads in. They were both operating at the best of their ability, but unfortunately, they didn't have that alignment. They all had data from different tools. They didn't have a collected environment where they could share that information. So now we're going to show you what that same scenario looks like in Slack with a connected team. Let me just go ahead and log in and get this set up. All right, so here we go. We're inside of Slack. I'm going to take on the role of Kathy, the performance marketer. And we can see in here that I'm into the sales leads channel. Now, this is a place where I'm working with my team to bring in all the information about the leads that we're generating. Here, you can see that I'm chatting with Julie about how things are performing. I also have Marketo, a marketing automation tool, connected, bringing us proactive alerts about how our performance is working. This helps create a lot of visibility for my team, and it helps us stay up to date on exactly what's happening at a moment's notice. Now, if we look down here, I can see actually that a recent lead came in from Finn. He downloaded our Gartner IT report, and that he's at one of a clients that we have been looking to talk to for quite a while, so we are really excited about this opportunity. Now, I want to look up and see kind of the size of this potential opportunity and who the account owner is. Typically, in the old way of working, I would have to go out, log into Salesforce, pull that information, be several clicks in before I'd even understand just a simple bit of information about this account. So instead, because I have Salesforce connected with Slack, I'm going to go ahead and run a / command. I'll do Salesforce right here, UBS, then sorry, typed that wrong. Salesforce, UBS, the name of the account. And you can see right here, it's already recognizing that's the account we have. I'm going to look at this information. Now I can see right away, sure enough, there's a huge opportunity, potentially $35 million for our business. I can also see who the account owner is. So next time I want to know about what's going on with UBS, I can touch base with them. I know instantly right inside of Slack this extra bit of information. I've saved myself several clicks. Okay, so now I'm going to go into the performance marketing channel. This is a place where I have integrated all my paid performance campaigns through a platform called Ask AdStage. I have my Facebook campaigns in there. I have my paid performance. Everything's in here and serving proactive alerts for me inside of Slack. Now I'm getting my weekly update, and I can see right here, okay, this is great. Week over week, the visits to our site, it's been pretty much on track. That's exactly what I want to see. But I actually start noticing something that's a little bit alarming. The conversion rate week over week has declined by over 13%. This makes me nervous. I know that if the conversion rate's that low, I'm going to be wasting money. And so I'm going to go ahead and pause this campaign right from Slack. And you can see instantly this is turning off my paid campaign in an external tool. I've done that with one click right from Slack. So now I have my campaign paused. I can do a little bit of troubleshooting and figure out why might this be the case? I know that visits haven't decreased, so my guess is it's probably not something in the campaigns that I'm running. But but I do see that the conversion rate has declined. That gives me a bit of worry, and it makes me think it might have something to do with our website. Now, here at Horizons, we've set up a process that any time someone is pushing out a customer-facing change, we take note of it and we share it in the release channel. So that's the first place I'm going to look for information about what might be going on. You can see that the process that we've set up makes it possible for information to be instantly accessible across our organization, and troubleshooting is going to be a little bit easier. So I can see here, great, someone has recently released some updates to admin tooling. I can also see that we released a new version of our Android app. That's wonderful to see. But I also see Mark in here. He's been working on experimenting with the sign-up flow. That creates an aha moment for me. I know it might be something with the website. I'm going to dig in here and try to figure out if I can see what's going on. So fortunately, Mark mentioned the sign-up V2 channel. I'm going to jump into there. And right here, you can see that the team has been working for quite a while. They have all of their tools connected as well. So there's not only information about the conversations as they're progressing inside of Slack, but tools like Jira are integrated. So I can see right here that alerts have been sent in as each step of our Jira process has been checked off. I can also see that Confluence is connected and that the team is using Confluence to document all of the results from this experiment. This is a great opportunity for me because without having to ask anybody, I can do recon on my own and click in here and see what's going on. So I'm actually going to open up Confluence and take a look at the documentation. So it looks like Mark has been in here, and fortunately, he's done a great job of keeping track of each step in their experimentation process. And I can see, OK, actually, you know what? I found my culprit. So it looks like Mark's team has only been experimenting with the organic traffic going to our website, which means the traffic from my campaigns have been left out of the experiment. This is a potential flaw in the experiment. I'm able to identify that all on my own without having to talk to anybody. And I can come to the team with a problem identified to see if they agree if that might be the case. So I'll switch back over into Slack. And let me just scroll down here a bit with some of the content. All right, so I, as Kathy, I come in and say, hey, I noticed in your documentation, which was great, thank you so much, that maybe the experiment wasn't set up in the right way. Here's the performance decline that I've been seeing in my campaigns. People can jump in right away, participate in the conversation. Eliza here, who's a data analyst, jumps in and she says, here's the lift we've been seeing, here's the decline you've been seeing. And sure enough, unfortunately, there's a negative net impact for our business. So instantly, we're able to troubleshoot, figure out next steps, and we decide that we want to roll back those optimizations that had been rolled out and move forward with our campaign. Also work as a group to troubleshoot what some potential solutions may be. So the final step and what I'm going to show you in the demo is I want to be able to really quickly give the engineering team information about why these results are going to be rolled back. So I can go right here and I can hover over this More Actions menu and open up a list of simple shortcuts that will let me take any Slack message and transition them into a next step in another tool. I want to add this information about the impact in this document here from Eliza. So I'm going to go ahead and click Add to Jira Issue. This will pull up a little information here where I can choose the relevant issue in Jira. I know that the last step was to ramp those experiment findings. I want people to know why we're going to roll them back. So I'll click this issue, click Confirm. And right there, that information has become instantly available to the engineering team. And let's just play this out a little bit further. Let's say we figured out the right opportunities. We optimized a little bit further. So now I know I'm going to go ahead and turn back on my performance marketing campaign. Here we are coming full circle. I'm going to go ahead and click Resume. So there you can see, this is what it looks like when you have integrated all of your tools with Slack. Things that in the past might have taken a really long time to troubleshoot and get done, or potentially you couldn't even find the answer. Now, because those tools and that information is all connected in Slack, it makes it much easier for the team to identify issues and come up with solutions quickly as a collective group. All right, so that's the end of our demo. We're going to go through a little bit more examples about how you can take this back to your organization.
Awesome. Thanks for that demo, Julie. So obviously, this is pretty unique to our fake company and our fake team, but I'm sure you all can identify a lot of similar processes and cross-functional pain points. So how do you bring this back to your organization? First and foremost, make sure your entire org is running on Slack. For your teams to really be connected and aligned, they all need to be working in one place. From there, set up the right sort of channel nomenclature and structure. This makes it easier to find information, but actually really helps with onboarding new employees. And then finally, head over to our app directory. We've got integrations and apps for practically every role and department, from Adobe, Marketo, Ultimate Software, to Jira. And if you actually need something a little bit more custom, you can build your own workflows and integrations with very little code. You can use tools like Zapier, Workato, or Missions, a company that we recently acquired, to build your own custom integrations with actually no technical knowledge. Now, in this example, you'll see that a customer support ticket's coming in from Zendesk. There's been supplemented account data from Salesforce, and there's actually 5 solutions being offered up by the company's own internal knowledge base. If you want to learn more about how to build these, make sure to check out the 10x Your Tech Stack session after this one in the Connect track. So let's get into those examples.
Great. Yeah, let's take a look at a few examples. So the example in the demo was pretty specific, but there are a lot of things that we all do every day in our work that can be simplified and improved by creating a connected team inside of Slack. A first example is hiring a new employee. Likely when you have a job rec open, you have needed a new employee for a while, chances are, and you want to fill that role as quickly as possible. For the first step, you want to bring that team into Slack. Anyone involved with interfacing with a potential candidate, the hiring manager, and also when the employee starts, you want to bring in those new employees and make them have a comfortable environment inside of Slack where they can get started. So we recommend setting up channels like an interview channel where you can talk about a candidate as they're coming in. You can send their resume in there. You can talk about how it worked afterwards and get everyone going. We also recommend, of course, connecting all of your tools to Slack as well. We have integrations with applicant tracking tools like Greenhouse and Lever. You can also tap into your employee base to get employee referrals across your organization. And you can even do paperless onboarding with tools like Donut to be able to welcome new employees to your company and get them up to speed quickly by getting the right information into their hands without overwhelming them. So what are the results of bringing these teams and these tools together inside of Slack? Well, your organization can work at a mega speed. You're able to reduce the amount of time it takes to hire new employees. You're able to get them up to speed faster, reaching their full potential. And ultimately, that is going to lead to your employees being more satisfied. Now, these numbers actually came from a study that we conducted with some of our customers through a research firm called IDC. You can look at these results on our website, and you'll notice that they're mentioned in the next 2 examples that we go through as well. All right, so let's take a look at another example. Keeping your employees happy. This is where it becomes really important to bring your full cross-functional team into Slack. Everyone from of course, your customer success managers, but you also want to bring your product owners, your sales team, your marketing team into Slack so everyone responsible for building the tools and services that touch your customers are able to be communicating inside of Slack. We also recommend setting up channels like feature channels. So every time something is being discussed or feedback is being discussed about a feature that's in development, everyone can be connected there inside of Slack and discussing it. We also like to recommend using things like triage channels and feedback channels so people have an open opportunity to raise issues that they notice out in the field. You can connect a wide variety of customer support tools with Slack as well, tools like Zendesk. You can monitor survey results, NPS, app reviews. You can keep an eye on social media. You can even live chat with your customers directly from Slack so you can make sure that for your highest best quality customers, that they get the immediate response from your team. The result of all of this is that your company is stronger as a collective group than they are as just siloed individuals in an unconnected environment. With a connected team, with the team and tools all working inside of Slack, you're able to reduce the amount of time it takes to resolve customer issues. You're able to route issues to the right people and have them resolved correctly, which is extremely important. So the final example here is being able to close deals faster. That's something that almost every company cares about. We want to all make money, right? So you want to bring, again, the right people into the conversations. Everyone involved in your sales process should be connected with Slack. Your sales development representatives, your AEs, management should be there as well. Legal to review deals. marketing, because they're also building stuff that's going to touch your customers as well. So you really want to bring that full cross-functional team into Slack. Again, set up channels, like a sales team channel. We like to recommend setting up a channel for each account that you have, so any communication about that customer can be centralized in one spot. And then connecting your sales tools with Slack as well. So we integrate with a ton of different sales tools. Of course, you'll see the big ones like Salesforce and HubSpot on there, but we also integrate with a lot of variety of specialized tools that sales teams use today. And we also integrate with tools that will help you develop better customer success management after the deal is done. And what this will lead to is being able to have an uncanny ability to attract customers to your company. You'll be able to reduce the amount of time it takes to close a deal. You'll be more likely to win deals, and ultimately, you'll increase the potential to make money over time. All right, so with that, here's some examples, or here's a summary of how to bring this back to your organization. First, pick a process that you want to improve. What is something that causes a lot of stress and pain at your organization? What is the place where you know that maybe people aren't operating at the ability that they really should be? Second, you want to make sure that full cross-functional team is connected and working inside of Slack. You want to set up process so channels are there where people can share information on an ongoing basis. Channels like the release and the sales leads channels that we saw in the demo. And finally, you want to connect all of your relevant tools that are needed for this process inside of Slack so you have a fully connected team. And as an example of that, you'll probably notice on your seat that there is a little guidebook. This is just an example for different departments of how they can create this type of connected environment inside of Slack. We also have these resources available on slack.com, so we encourage you to go there and check that out for sure.
Awesome. So by following these steps, creating really connected teams, your organizations can start to benefit from these superpowers. And they'll end up looking a little bit more like this, where everyone's rowing in the same direction with a common purpose, working towards common goals. They'll help you save time by easily sharing information and getting it across all your departmental lines. And finally, you should be able to save some money and cut down on a lot of those error-prone tasks.
All right, that's right. Thank you, Jassim. So that concludes the presentation portion of our content. Now I'm just going to pull up some of those questions that you've been asking. And if you haven't had a chance to ask a question yet, please jump in. I'm just going to pull up our questions here on my iPad, and then we will address them. Cool. All right. So someone wants to know if we will be able to download the slides and a video recording. The answer is yes. We will definitely send that out to you, and we'll have that available in the app after the event as well. All right. So we have a question here about what is the vision for the integration of missions? And Jassim, it sounds like I think that they're going to have a presentation right after ours, right?
Yeah, highly recommend actually sticking around for that. You'll hear from the founder, Mike Brevoort. Right now, we are building missions into our technology stack, but we definitely want to enable some of those quick and easy ways to create workflows and custom integrations without having any sort of technical knowledge or using any code. So a lot more to come on that soon.
Great. We have a question here about how to convince stakeholders to buy into Slack. That is a great question. If you're not already connected with somebody on our sales team, I highly recommend you to chat with people on our team. We have deployed Slack at a lot of different organizations. We have great examples of other companies that have brought this to their organization. That could be a great way of helping to create that business case by looking at other companies and seeing the successes that they've had. If you're not connected with an account executive, go ahead and go down to the lower floor today and go to the demo area. That would be a great place for you to see just a quick demo of how Slack could be set up and get connected with the right person. And then finally, on our website at slack.com, we have tons of customer stories. So if you want to send an example to your stakeholders, that could be a good way of helping convince them. The other thing that we recommend is just pick one process. Like, you don't have to fix everything right out of the bat. Just pick one thing. Say, hey, for this project coming up next month, we're going to connect everything that we're going to work on for that project inside of Slack. We're going to bring all of our tools there, all of the people, all of our communications for that project, fully centralize it, and the work will really speak for itself. You'll see how much more powerful your organization can be. All right, so I'm looking here. What is your favorite fun app? And Jassim, you want to go first, and then I can try to answer as well?
Favorite fun app? I am going to go with Lunch Train, which allows you to create a train for colleagues to join you. And you can set up where you want to go and at what time, and anyone can kind of pop in, whoever's in that channel.
Cool. I have a fun example. So our team has a shared Spotify channel that we use. And so we have an app that's integrated with Slack that allows everyone to add songs that they want to have on the playlist, and we're able to listen to that Spotify playlist right from Slack. And that's called Jukebox. So that's another example of a fun app. All right, so we have a question here. In the demo, we saw the Atlassian suite, like Jira and Confluence, but in the cloud. Do you have some of these integrations on-premise?
So we do support Jira on-prem today, and I also believe Bitbucket, but we're going to be working closely with the Atlassian team on improvements to those things, and we should have some more information for you fairly soon.
All right, we have another question here. Would you recommend setting up Slack channels for customers? I would definitely say yes. There are a couple ways of doing that. You can have single channel guests where you set up a channel specifically for that customer. That's a great way of bringing them into your Slack environment so you can have conversations with them without them having access to everything else going on at your company. Also, if both of your companies use Slack, you can set up shared channels, which is a product that's currently in beta. That basically creates a bridge between both of your Slack workspaces where you can communicate across your organization and participate with your customers right inside of Slack. That's something that we do here at Slack. We talk with our customers all the time inside of channels as well. Do you want to share what we do on the platform team?
Yeah, so we actually have a ton of partner channels, and all of our communication happens there. Most of our partners are using Slack, or if not, it's a way that we've introduced them to the product, and they get a much better sense of how it works and obviously how they would build integrations for Slack as well.
Cool. So someone asked if we could demo some software development-related integrations. So we can't demo that for you right on stage now, but you can go to slack.com/apps, and inside of there, that's our app directory. Inside of our app directory, there's a category for development tools, and we integrate with pretty much any software development tool out there.
Yeah, and I think our demo stations actually also have some examples if you want to head over there after this.
Cool. All right, so I'm looking here for a couple more questions. Do we have any plans to integrate with a Power BI type of software?
Business intelligence tools.
Yeah.
So there are some, like Mode Analytics. It's an area that I think we want to invest more in and invest more in partners there. If there's specific ones outside of Power BI, happy to talk to folks after this as well.
Cool. And there are some that connect like Google Analytics type of tools or Adobe Analytics inside of Slack as well. A couple examples of those are StatSpot and Ask Adobe Analytics, I think is the other one. So that could be a good way of getting some of your site data integrated into Slack and automating some of those reports. All right. So let me see if I have one more question, and then we'll be done with our session for today. So how do you see customers developing app integrations? Do they simply submit a request to IT, or teams need to do this themselves?
That really depends, right? For more open companies or have an open policy, folks can really just start developing these things on their own. Again, they can use things like Zapier or Workato if they aren't technical, but if they are, our APIs are fully open, they're fully public. It's all everything is at api.slack.com. And they can get those distributed on their teams fairly quickly. Internal integrations are a huge, huge part of how people use Slack.
Yeah, that's a great example. We also have, as Jassim mentioned, we're building out missions for sure. And there are other tools that you can use today that could help you set up some simple things to connect to other tools with Slack. Tools like Zapier and Workato are good examples of that.
Yeah, and if your company is more security-minded, we actually have features like admin-approved apps, right, where you can submit requests to install integrations, and it'll have to go through some sort of approval flow where the right folks at your company can actually sign off on those things and keep tabs on the types of integrations people are using.
Great. So that's it from us today. Thank you so much for joining this session and hanging out with us today. I'd like to ask you one quick favor, though. If you can provide a little bit of feedback on this session within the event app, that would be wonderful. We'd really appreciate it. Next up is at 3 o'clock. Back in this room, we'll have Making Better Decisions Quickly. So thank you all so much for the time. Really appreciate it. And enjoy the rest of Frontiers.